When Canadians start saving money, they usually hear the same advice. Open a TFSA. Max out your RRSP. Save for retirement. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Millions of Canadians are using these accounts completely wrong, and it's quietly costing them thousands of dollars in lost tax advantages. So today, we're going to break down the biggest myths and mistakes people make when choosing between a TFSA and an RRSP, and more importantly, how to use them correctly. Because when used the right way, these two accounts can be the most powerful wealth-building tools available in Canada. First, what is a TFSA? Let's start with the TFSA. TFSA stands for Tax-Free Savings Account. But the name is actually misleading because it's not just a savings account. Inside a TFSA you can hold stocks, ETFs, mutual funds, bonds, GICs, even dividend-paying investments. And here's the key advantage. Any investment growth inside the account, interest, dividends, or capital gains, is completely tax-free. Even better? When you withdraw money from a TFSA, you don't pay any tax at all. Not today, not tomorrow, not in retirement. And there's another powerful feature. If you withdraw money from your TFSA, that contribution room comes back the following year, meaning you can reinvest it again later. This flexibility is why many financial planners consider the TFSA one of the most versatile financial tools Canadians have. But that's only half the story. Now let's talk about RRSP. RRSP stands for Registered Retirement Savings Plan. And unlike the TFSA, the RRSP works very differently. The biggest advantage of an RRSP is the tax deduction. When you contribute to an RRSP, that contribution reduces your taxable income, which means you may receive a tax refund. For example, if you earn $70,000 per year and contribute $5,000 to your RRSP, your taxable income drops to $65,000. That tax reduction can translate into hundreds or even thousands of dollars in tax savings depending on your income bracket. But here's the catch. While money grows tax-free inside the RRSP, you pay tax when you withdraw it later, usually in retirement. In other words, TFSA tax now, no tax later. RRSP surtax break now, tax later. Understanding this difference is the key to using them correctly. Mistake number 1. Thinking TFSA is only for saving cash. One of the biggest mistakes Canadians make is using their TFSA like a regular savings account. They deposit money and leave it sitting in cash earning 1 or 2% interest. That completely defeats the purpose. Because the real power of a TFSA comes from tax-free investment growth. If you invest in stocks, ETFs, or index funds inside your TFSA, every dollar of profit stays in your pocket. No capital gains tax, no dividend tax, no reporting on your tax return. Over decades, that tax advantage can become enormous. Mistake number 2. Always choosing RRSP first. A lot of people automatically assume the RRSP should always come first. But that's not always true. The RRSP is most powerful when your current tax rate is high, because the tax deduction is worth more right now. That deduction can reduce the amount of tax you owe significantly in the year you contribute. But if you're in a lower income bracket, the TFSA often makes more sense. That's because you're not giving up a valuable tax deduction right now for a tax benefit you might not fully use later. Money withdrawn from a TFSA does not count as taxable income, which can help protect government benefits such as old age security and retirement. RRSP withdrawals, on the other hand, are fully taxable and will be included as income when you take them out. Plus, TIA contribution room comes back the following year after a withdrawal. RRSP room does not. Many advisors suggest that for most people early in their careers, maxing TFSA room first often leads to better long-term flexibility before focusing on RRSPs as income rises. Mistake number 3. Ignoring contribution limits. Both accounts come with strict contribution rules. For 2026, the TFSA annual contribution limit is $7,000, with unused room carrying forward every year. RRSP contributions are based on 18% of your previous year's income, up to a maximum set by the government. And here's the problem. If you contribute more than allowed, you can face penalties and fees, so before contributing, it's always important to check your available contribution room. Mistake number 4. Withdrawing RRSP money too early. Another costly mistake is treating an RRSP like a savings account. Yes, technically you can withdraw money anytime, but there's a major downside. RRSP withdrawals are taxed as income, which means you could lose a large portion of that money to taxes, often much more than you expect once it's added to your annual income. Even worse, when you withdraw from an RRSP, that contribution room is gone forever. You don't get it back like you do with a TFSA. Once it's used, that room disappears and can't be recontributed. You also miss out on years of tax-sheltered compounding growth. Every dollar you take out stops working for your retirement, and that lost growth can add up to tens of thousands of dollars over the long run. That's why RRSP money is usually best left untouched until retirement. Mistake number 5. Not using both accounts together. The smartest investors don't choose one account over the other. They use both TFSA and RRSP strategically, and that's where many new Canadian investors go wrong. Here's why. Many people think they must pick either a TFSA or an RRSP and stick with it. But that's actually a mistake. Each account has its own tax advantages, and the real power comes from knowing when and how to use both. For example, you might prioritize TFSA contributions when your income is lower early in your career, because TFSA withdrawals are completely tax-free, flexible, and don't affect government benefits. Later, when your income rises and you're in a higher tax bracket, RRSP contributions become more valuable because they reduce your taxable income now and defer taxes until retirement, when your tax rate may be lower. And it doesn't stop there. In retirement, you can withdraw from both accounts strategically, taking tax-free money from your TFSA when it makes sense, and taxable income from your RRSP only when you're in a lower bracket. This combination strategy is exactly how many Canadians maximize their long-term tax efficiency and flexibility. Using both accounts also helps you match your savings to your life goals, such as emergencies, buying a home, education, and building retirement income, without overpaying the taxman. The simple way to think about it. Here's the easiest rule of thumb. If your income is lower today than it will be later, prioritize TFSA. If your income is higher today than it will be in retirement, RRSP becomes more powerful because the goal is simple. Pay less tax overall across your lifetime, not just this year. Both accounts are incredibly powerful, but only if you understand how they work. A TFSA protects your future investment gains from taxes. An RRSP gives you tax relief today while deferring taxes to retirement. Used correctly, they can help Canadians build wealth, reduce taxes, and create financial security. Used incorrectly, they can quietly cost you thousands. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happens to millions of Canadians every single year. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Because on this channel, we break down money, investing, and financial strategies in simple terms, so you can make smarter decisions with your money. And if you want to build real financial security in 2026 and beyond, you won't want to miss the next video.